welcome to Learning with Dr. Shivangi. Today's topic is growth of trade unionism. As in the previous videos, we already started the playlist for the subject Industrial Sociology and also discuss various topics related to it like growth of industrial sociology, various theories of industrial sociology, industrialization, and so on. So in today's video, we'll discuss about the growth of trade unionism. You can also watch other videos. Links are provided in the description box. So before I started the video, I want to say you that if you like my video, please like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe my channel, which is Learning with Dr. Shivangi. Now coming to the main topic, which is growth of trade unionism. During the early period of industrialization, workers faced several problems in the factories. They got lower wages and worked under poor working conditions. So they organized themselves into trade unions to secure better wages and better conditions of work. The basic philosophy underlying trade unionism was that through strength and collective support, employers could be forced to listen to the workers and redress their grievances. The weapons used included strikes, slowdowns, walkouts, picketing, boycotts, and sabotage also. Sometimes even physical force is also used. Trade unionism influenced the personnel management in such fields of activity as the adoption of employee grievances handling system, the acceptance of arbitration as a means of resolving conflict of rights, disciplinary practices, the expansion of employee benefit programs, the liberalization of holiday and vacation time, clear definition of job duties, job rights through the installation of rational and defensible wage structures also. So, these are the different factors of acceptance of resolving conflict also. Because of the influence of trade unions, several employers in the USA appointed welfare secretaries and also launched schemes for workers' participation. They adopted paternalistic attitude towards the workers and invested on welfare activities that betterment of workers. In several companies, personal departments were set up around 1910 to look after functions like recruitment, training, motion study, record keeping, welfare, etc. Trade unionism in India developed quite slowly as compared to the Western nations. So trade union is slow in comparison to other countries because of different types of factors of Indian organizations also. The main reasons for the delayed start for the labor movement is difference in her economic setup from those of the United Kingdom and the commerce in the country, while companies helped in the spread of trade and commerce in the country during the 18th and the first half of the industries. They were more interested in the selling goods obtained from their own country and not in setting up production centers. It was only during the 19th century and especially during its second half that a number of factories were set up in Calcutta and Bombay, jute mills in Calcutta and cotton textile mills in Bombay also. So these are the different reasons of economic growth in India, which are related to organizational factors also. Industrial capitalism was well established in Europe during the 18th and 19th centuries, but in India, modern types of industries could be set up only during the middle of 19th century. Indigo plantations were the first to be started in 1831, followed by a cotton mill in Bombay in 1853, the manufacture of jute in Calcutta in 1855, and the coal fields were connected by rail to the port city of Calcutta. These developments paved the way for development of industries in India. The first indication of industrial unrest and earliest work stoppage came to the force in 1877 on the initiative of weavers of Impress Mills Nagpur. So industrial capitalism in Europe is started in the 18th and 19th century. But in India, it is the middle of 19th century. Though no trade union existed, the relation between employers and workers cannot be said to be peaceful, Evidence of short lived strikes and their frequent occurrence is found at various centers such as Bombay and Surat. They ended in separation of operatives, power on one side, and ignorance of mildness on the other, are the basis of which the present relations and the relations are quite unrest. Lockouts were completely not existent. This reveals the unequal were intimidated, dismissed, and victimized by the employers. So generally, in the starting there is no trade union existed in the countries. There are short-lived strikes and frequent occurrence in various centers. In 1895, probably for the first time, the workers struck work at the Buzz Jute mill, as a result of which the mill suffered a loss of rupees 18,000. The passing of the Factories Act in 1881 awakened the working class towards a concerted approach. In 1884, a memorandum was presented by about 5,000 workers to the Bombay Factory Labour Commission under Sri N. M. Lokhande. In 1890, the first Labour Commission with Bombay Mill Hands Association was established. However, till 1895, workers had very little class consciousness and therefore they lacked the power of united action. In 1897 was formed the Amalgamated Society of Railway Servants of India, consisting of Anglo-Indians and domiciled Europeans employed on railways, and acted more as a friendly society than a combination for securing concessions. In 1905, another organization was formed in Calcutta under the name of Printers Union. The Postal Union was formed in Bombay in 1907. So there are different improvements done in the Indian organization system in different time periods. These organizations formed on the lines of trade unions and may be considered as the pioneer organized labor association for concerted action. Whatever trade unions emerged, they were of a purely local character at the level of individual mills. The conditions of labor were severely affected by World War I, and the unions could not do much to improve the lot of workers. Though quite a number of workers' organizations did spring up during the early years of 20th century, legal recognition of movement was not forthcoming readily. So, organization was formed on the basis of trade unions. They are the pioneer of the trade unions. The first organization, the Amalgamated Society of Railway Servants in India and Burma, formed in 1897, was registered under the Companies Act. Special legislation for registration of trade unions was enacted only in 1926. As a matter of fact, this legislation was facilitated by the pressure exerted by trade unions movements in the United Kingdom. However, the process was initiated through the introduction of element of militancy in the movement in India by Mr. B.P. Wadia. The textile workers unions set up by him in Madras in 1918 were an immediate success, and through a number of strikes he was able to get a lot of benefits for the workers. But the employers retaliated by filing a suit for damages against Mr. Wadia, and other leaders obtained a court injunction restraining the trade union leaders for interfering with their business. This led to focusing attention to need of legislation for protecting trade union activities also. On the other side of country, a new experiment on the labor front was carried out. A strike was launched by the textile mill workers in Ahmedabad in 1918, whose leadership was taken over by Mahatma Gandhi, who turned it into a satyagraha. From this was born in 1920 the famous Textile Labour Association of Ahmedabad. Enactment of Trade Unions Act in 1926 and formation of the International Labour Organization ILO gave a fillip to the trade union movement in India. The immediate result of formation of International Labour Organization was the birth of All India Trade Union Congress in 1920. So there are different types of strike and different innovations also done in the Indian industrial organization system. With the formation of ILO, immediate necessity was felt for the forum for election of the workers' representatives to that organization, or at least of an agency that could tender suitable advice to the government regarding selection of the workers' representatives. This necessity led to the formation of All India Trade Union Congress. The Trade Union Act gave legal status to the registered trade unions and conferred them and their members a measure of immunity from civil suits to criminal prosecution. So, different types of amendments and provisions are prescribed by ILO for the improvement of the trade unions. The Act gave legal status to unions and enhanced their position in the minds of employers and the general public. This act was an important landmark in the history of trade union movement in India. The failure of the Bombay textile strike of 1929 and the economic depression of that period brought a full in trade union activity. But industries faced a problem of effective handling of labor management relations also. The management declared lockouts to resist pressure by workers, while workers resorted to strikes to pressurize management for higher wages and better facilities. The government also intervened in many cases to resolve the disputes between the management and the workers. This is how the industrial relations system, consisting of three actors, that is, management, workers, and government, evolved. So, management declared lockouts to resist pressure of workers and strikes to pressurize the management also. So, this is all about the growth of trade unionism. I again summarizes all the points so that you can easily understand about the topic. During the early period of industrialization, workers faced several problems, so they have to solve these problems. Uh, the weapons are used by the workers are strikes, slowdowns, walkouts also. But generally in USA, trade unions are evolved for the welfare of the workers in the organizations. Uh, but in India, it is delayed in comparison to UK and US because of different economic setup in India. Industrial capitalism was established in Europe in 19th century, but in India it is established in middle of the 19th century. Uh, Evidence of short-lived strikes and frequent occurrence are done in the various industrial organizations in India also. The passing of Factories Act in 1881 awakened the working class towards a concerted approach towards the workers. The postal unions formed in Bombay in 1907 and the union was emerged on the local character basis in India. The first organization was started in India, which is Railway Servant Organization in 1897 in Burma also. The textile workers set up the union in Madras in 1918 for the benefits of the workers. And the strike was launched by textile mill workers in 1918, which is taken over by Mahatma Gandhi for Satyagrah. And the ILO is also formed for the welfare of workers and workers representative selected by the ILO. And legal status is given to the trade unions also by ILO. So this is all about the growth of trade unionism. If you have any query about this topic or if you want to know about any other topic related to research methodology, business management, and sociology, you can ask me through comment box. If you like my video, please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe my channel, which is Learning with Dr. Shivangi. We'll meet in the next video with new topic. Thank you everyone.